Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Today we are going to be returning to channel favorite Nightwish, performing a song that many of you are probably very familiar with, but it will be brand new to me. Yours is an Empty Hope. I'm told it is one of the heaviest songs that Nightwish does. And I'm excited to digest that now that I've begun to understand metal through many other bands and many decades as well. I think it'll be fun to understand maybe where that heaviness came from. Additionally, I'm really excited about the lyrics of this song. It seems to be about internet narcissism, essentially. And I went through these lyrics many, many times in preparation. I still haven't heard the music. But they definitely sparked some strong feelings in me about internet usage, etc., etc. So most of the time I just leave the internet or the lyrics up to more interpretation. But this time I'm going to share a little more of my personal feelings with you. So let's get to it.
Thank you!
Okay, I thought this was gonna be like heavy metal, and maybe it'll get into that, but right now it sounds almost like an epic scene from an action movie, full orchestral, some brass strikes as well. So anyhow, like the introduction, of course, I like symphonic metal, so symphony intro, cool. Fire! Haha! Metal! Ooh, hi, Fleur. No, sorry to cut you off. I like the excitement in this. There's, of course, when you have full orchestra with these like stabs that the orchestra is doing, it makes you feel like we're having a big action scene. It feels epic. And there's also a cool feeling underneath of a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So the fact that they've divided or subdivided essentially like 8 counts into a set of 2 3s and a 2 at the end, that makes it feel a little bit more difficult to anticipate, and that will make it feel more jagged and exciting as well. I'll go back just a little bit to get that feeling in there. It's definitely so cool to hear like the drive of the orchestra and the drive of just some more modern instruments as well, all together. I love that combination. Okay, now feel this tempo change, or not change, just the tempo subdivision. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2.
Tell me to this and join the scene of screaming verbal vanity. Shoving the words and beautiful. Your tongue for you water and a language. You have the world, it's all for you. I wish you find the lost in you. Give the blood of pain and bruise we're alive. Can you feel it? I can make you want the truth. It's up to you. Yes, it's an empty hole.
Whoa. Wait.
Yes, it's an empty hole.
I think that Flora is doing the gutturals on that. I think that Marco was singing the lead and Flor was doing the gutturals. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to need to listen to that a few more times. Let's just go back right away. Is that what's happening? Yeah. I'm pretty sure that that's what's happening. It's hard. We can't see their mouths really close to the mic, but it sounds more like Marco's voice, which has a little more nasal and focus to it, a little more bite to it. Those Flor will sometimes pull that kind of timbre into her voice. She can do that. But then you have a false folds activation there that's essentially creating, these harsh vocals that are underneath it too. Very interesting. I haven't heard Flor do that before. So I'm curious. Let's go back to these lyrics. Tear me to bits, enjoy the scene of screen name verbal vanity. So of screen name verbal vanity, screen name denotes online. Verbal vanity, lots of feelings about that one. But I think maybe the things that this person or that a person could write online, turning the words imbued in filth, your tongue oily water under my bridge. It's interesting to me because I feel like this song in some ways is about people who use the internet not for good, but for bad. I specifically think, because it's me and this is my experience right now, I specifically think about haters gonna hate. There are absolutely trolls out there that write awful things, and we see them on the channel sometimes. Mostly this channel is full of really, really wonderful people, I gotta say. But I think about this, and as I was going through these lyrics, I thought, wow, I wonder if this is something that Nightwish was writing about. Definitely, they want it to be interpreted however a person wants to interpret it. But it's interesting from my point of view. It feels like pretty clear that this interpretation is very possible. You have the world, it's all for you. I wish you'd find the lost in you. It's like, oh, online, like you can do anything with it. Where are you going to find that? But it also might just mean like maybe the world that's physical and present, not just the one that's on the internet. I'm grateful for the pain. It proves we're alive. Can you feel it? I can't make you want the truth. It's up to you. That's a great line. I can't make you want the truth. It's up to you. So it's very interesting to me. I see some people that will occasionally just spend a ton of time trying to churn out hate. And I don't understand why they spend their lives that way. Maybe if I were younger, a little less established, it would really, really hurt my confidence. And I think that that might be the intention, is to really tear other people down so it makes you feel better. But instead, I just end up feeling sorry for them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. They talk about that a little bit later in the song. I want to go back through this part one more time with this duet. It's a great outfit that Flor has on. Cool. I imagine that must take a ton of energy. Flor is really having she has a lot of energy in the consonants right now. It looks like she needs to really stand still to try and just deliver this energy, like smack it out the whole time. It's very intense. It's interesting. She almost has a horse stance going on, like a la Bruce Dickinson there, right? Hey, I almost got a horse stance. Her outfit really is incredible. I would totally cosplay that. That's amazing. Uh, I like the way she's just driving it the whole time. And you can hear she does what are quick catch breaths. There isn't a lot of room in this for a big deep breath. Once she gets going on what I'd call probably the second verse here, once she gets going, she just has to continue to drive the whole time. So she'll have little quick catch breaths, but you don't hear her gasping for air, which is a great sign. When you gasp for air, that's essentially the vocal folds coming together as the air comes in. And when they do that, they actually let less air in than if you just went and let it all in without going, right? Okay. Anyhow, let's go back. I want to catch this section one more time. Windmill! Interesting to also hear a little bit of fry in there to get a little bit of that grit there as well. She's using that to make it have a harsher edge for sure. Let's keep going. It's interesting. I think all of the band members are mouthing "Yours is an Empty Hope." It just shot different screams of them, and you could see them all looking like they were singing along. Let's talk a little bit about the lyrics that have happened here again. Feed me to pigs in your fantasies, your sea roars bitter elegies like Narcissus who bribes the pool, a hollow voice, ruin with a roof. I think it's interesting. Feed me to the pigs in your fantasies really applies to any sort of trolling that I see where you go, like, what, you think this is going to tear me down? Right? It's a big question. One of my favorites is when people say, you've never sung a note in your life. I'm like, well, I've got a lot of history to show you wrong, but I'm not going to bother and reply to that because that just feeds the negative loop that they're going in. So it's very interesting. I guess I have a very strong interpretation of this that might be slightly divisive, but I'm going to put it out there anyways, because I think that we should use the internet for joy, for learning, for essentially becoming better people, for having great relationships still during COVID. So anyhow, I think the internet can be used for lots of good things, but when I see it used for bad things and people lose their lives in it, it really, really saddens me. So anyhow, I'm going to keep going. Whoa! That was cool! Who did the whoo thing? That was cool. I love that sound with this. One of the things that I find the most amusing is when people try to time the music that we hear with the claps that we see. Some of those claps were timed correctly, and then some views of it you could see, oh, well, maybe the music was actually hitting this part of the audience a little bit later. Or maybe, the video just came afterwards and they wanted to show a section of the crowd doing the claps, but they couldn't really get it in quite in time with where floor was. So anyhow, kudos to everyone that ever has to time audience claps. It's rough work. Ooh, that was cool. What is this? That was haunting. It sounds purposefully slightly out of tune as well, which gives it a slightly more haunting feel. Very interesting, very floaty, and almost like has a certain personality to it that I'm not putting my finger on. Yeah, it sounds like she purposely starts a few of those flatter and very slidey in between, and the airiness of it makes it feel almost a little tongue-in-cheek at the same time uh, as having some really interesting pitch choices that are disturbing. I like this. Interesting how she took that like kind of sound uh and then brought it just like took it just a tiny bit differently, modulated it just a little bit, not key, but modulated the sound just a little bit more. So it became a little rounder, a little bit warmer. And for a moment there, we had this fluffy, beautiful sound that we know as like the gorgeous goosebump floorgasm moments. And then she went back into this other almost unworldly sound. I want to go back to that transition. Listen, like just the tiny adjustments that she makes to do this. Oh, a little bit more. No. So for me, I think that part of that adjustment is having a rounder vowel, like an ooh. The other vowels she's going for mostly or ah, kind of in that realm. She's playing with them some. And it would be taking the sound from right in here and giving it a little more dome. So you have a little more spinning of the air. The other one tends to have a lot more direct air just coming out. And the one that's more floor's characteristic sound, we would think of having more dome so that the air would spin a little bit more before coming out. It's a lot of soft palate control, FYI. She almost sounds like Lizzie Hale right here. This is like, it's got some pretty strong grit on this edge. Very interesting to hear. Also, it sounds like you have backup of those kind of creepy, spooky, unworldly voices behind as well, probably caught up in synths, or maybe they were layered by Floor ahead of time. Not sure, but this is impressive to hear the way she's just pumping out this sound continuously with the start of a harsher edge. And it's got a lot of power and a lot of point to it. Wow, it's got some snarl. Great open mouth. Great use of silence. They did this earlier as well. Definitely, when you have something that's loud and pounding the whole time, sometimes it's hard to up the level by being loud and poundier. So what you do is you take away all of the sudden to make people reappreciate the loud and poundy. I just want to talk a little bit. This is interesting. I want to talk a little bit about these last lyrics. I kind of missed talking about this earlier, so we're going to stop and talk about it now. Stop, life is now, still all for you. Turn from the hate, turn from the smoke. I see the parchment of your soul, the notes, the song, join your voice. I really love the positivity of this message. It's interesting. It sounds like there's some hate that's happening earlier. And instead of being like, oh, you're an awful person, they're saying, this is empty. You can have a more full life if life is now, if you're more in the now and living your moment, turning from the hate, turning from the smoke. And it sounds like they're really not just saying, go be you, choose to be better. They're also saying, join your voice. So it's an inclusivity and saying, it's not just you on your own. We can all be more positive together. And I thought that was really telling to me, because it's one of our goals with the Charismatic Voice to really create a positive community. And it's one of the things I love about all of you is getting to see you in premieres, getting to chat with you there, getting to go through your comments and say hi, getting to know you better. I love the patrons and the Patreon. Like, wow, I spend a couple different times live chatting and also just saying hi in Discord or playing video games. We've got a great, great, great community. And it's one of the things I feel most happy about on this channel. So I wanted to shout out to everyone in the Charismatic Voice community. Thank you for being so positive and being a place where people can come and find a lot of joy and uplift in life. I think that this is a really amazing place to be online. Okay, let's go back a little bit and let's catch this in right here. Oh yeah, windmill, more windmilling.
I can't let you have the walls all for you. Yours is an empty hole. Yours is an empty hole.
Emperor looks so happy right there. Whoa. Oh my gosh. What a crazy. And I'm sure that this is Flora doing this false fold growl. Oh my gosh. This slide down from both Marco singing and Flora doing these growls this is so cool. Also, Marco, I'm so sad he left the band. I know we all have feels about this. I'm really glad that he's taking care of himself. But still, yeah, I feel that too. Okay, let's go back to this moment. This is amazing. It's like I hear the milk like it goes through all these different lip shapes, and it sounds like it's even got tongue shapes in it that are all forming this distorted vocal. It's so cool. Like that could be a lion in a video game. Legit lion, legit monster, but maybe. Working on it. Gonna keep working on it. This is so much fun. One more time. Yes. All done? I think we're done. Yeah,
Kiitos paljon! Tack så mycket!
I think
And
that's
thank
it.
you so very much!
Yeah. So clearly, I had some pretty strong feels and interpretation of the song. I will not say that that is definitely what the song is about. I will definitely say that the song is meant to be interpreted. So you should write below what your interpretation of the song is. This was just my take from it. And one of the great things about great songs is that they're meant to be interpreted in different ways. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about how I felt and thought about these lyrics. But beyond the lyrics, what were those growls? I've never heard Floor deliver so many harsh vocals in a song. This is very interesting. Like, is she taking from Ginger? Where did that come from? I've heard her go and add a little fry, a little bit of growl here and there, but I don't think I've ever heard sustained false vocal fold screams like that from her. That's very, very interesting to me. And I'm curious if she does that in other songs. We've been saving most Nightwish songs for first time reactions, so I don't know. If there are other Nightwish songs that have Flora using that kind of extended vocal technique in them, I would really be interested in hearing them. So make sure you make those recommendations down in the comments below. And also, come and say hello to me sometime in YouTube premieres on Monday, Tuesday, or Fridays at 8 a.m. As you know from my interpretation of these lyrics, I really value that time with our community. So I'd love to get to know you better. I hope you'll come and say hi. Or you can find me on Patreon, or if you want to learn more about music or about singing, you can find that at thecharismaticvoice.com. Thanks for listening.